story is about a grandpa who loses grandma, who hasn't done anything his whole life without her. Finally, he's forced to do things alone, down to mixing up his medications. He becomes very ornery, very hard to deal with, and he's getting into a lot of trouble. His daughter, who lives with her family, husband, 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son, is forced to keep coming across the state to bail him out of these situations. Finally, she says, "Hey, Dad, I can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this. Why don't you come live with us?" And he believes that family and fish stink after 3 days and doesn't think it's a good idea. Ultimately, he decides to come. The only room in the house he can have is his grandson Peter's room, who loves that room more than life itself, and Peter's forced to move into the attic. Unbeknownst to Peter's parents, Peter goes back to his grandfather and makes him an offer he can't refuse by saying, "Listen, old man, either you get out of my room or it's going to be trouble." Grandpa, who's still depressed, doesn't really pay him any mind, and ultimately Peter starts to play tricks on Grandpa and ultimately engaging them in this war. My then 8-year-old son read a book in the 3rd grade. He brought the book home to his mom, who's my partner and producer on the movie, and she said, "You have to hear this idea. Trey wants to talk to you about this book that he read." So I listened and I thought, wow, this is a great idea. I was getting on a plane the next day to California to do just sort of the monthly meeting, and I said, "Hey, my kid brought me this book. I think it's great. I read it on the plane. It's a great read. I think it made for a great family movie." They agreed, and we greenlit the movie. I wanted to encourage him. I wanted to also give him a life lesson. I didn't want him to think just because he was a kid that his contribution was any less valuable. I wanted to treat him as if a 50-year-old woman brought me a project and said, "Hey, I think this will make for a great project. Let's develop this together." And it was his idea to cast Robert De Niro. It was his idea to cast Robert Riggle. I mean, he's given input on the pranks, and he's given notes on the script all along the way. He's read every draft, and he's very much a part of our producing team. I felt that Robert De Niro was the only person to play this character, to the point of, if we did not get him, there would not be a movie. Some movies you can interplay and interchange. I felt that Robert De Niro was the perfect actor for the perfect role. Uma Thurman is great because she's never really done something like this before. She's a great actress. She starred in a lot of Quentin Tarantino films. She's been doing this for 30 years. She's a very accomplished actress, and it's great to see a serious, dramatic action actress take on the role of family and comedy. And she has kids, and to see her as a mom, it's very easily translatable to playing a mom in a movie, because now it's become sort of secondhand to her. Christopher Walken was what I call a big get. Even I, as much as I really liked him as an actor, it wasn't until we had the reading in New York at the Loft in Tribeca, where the entire cast came around, we read the script through, and every time Chris Walken opened his mouth, there was a laugh at the table. So much so that then at this lax reading, you see a Robert De Niro sort of puffing his chest out, and sort of, it was almost like a heavyweight prize fight between these two great actors. And it was just this reading, but it really brought the movie to life, and it really said to us, as I was saying to my partner, Rose, I think we really have something here.